Right, let's begin with a breaking update that we're getting. Several journalists linked to the news portal NewsClick have been raided by the Delhi police since early this morning. Some of them have also been taken to a police station. The police have filed a case under the stringent anti-terror law, the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. More details are expected. So far, what we know is laptops, computers, hard disks and mobile phones. Several gadgets of the journalists linked to the portal have been taken by the police during the raids. The raids come in the backdrop of a recent controversy where NewsClick is alleged to have received dubious funds from American billionaire Neville Roysingham to spread Chinese propaganda. This is, of course, early days into the investigation. Let me go across to my colleague Arvind, who is joining us on this. Arvind, what are the details we have gathered so far?
Tanima, what our sources are saying is that Delhi police has registered a fresh case based on the information that was shared by the Enforcement Directorate. The Enforcement Directorate is already looking into the funding of NewsClick, which is a digital platform. So based on the information that has been shared by Enforcement Directorate, now the Delhi police has registered a fresh case. That information we were able to confirm from our sources. And what we are also being told is that almost 30 locations are currently being searched by the Delhi police personnel. This particular case is currently being handled by a special police. And what we are also being told is almost a dozen journalists have already been, their electronic gadgets have already been taken by the Delhi police. And for now, no arrests have been made. For now, what we are being told is that they have been called for investigation. Their statements are being recorded. And for now, only the search process, which is currently underway, which is just taking away their electronic gadgets, just seizing their mobile phones, laptops, etc. for further investigation. That's what we are being told by sources. We are not sure what this case particularly means because we did reach our sources both in Delhi Police and also Enforcement Directorate, though we have been given this basic information that this particular information was shared by Enforcement Directorate. Tanma, if you could go back and see what this particular investigation that was started by Enforcement Directorate, this case pertains to alleged funding by some people linked to China in order to propagate a Chinese ideology or Chinese news. That was the allegation based on which the Enforcement Directorate initiated an investigation. The Enforcement Directorate, during the course of investigation, also revealed that NewsClick got funding to the tune of somewhere around 35 crore, and NewsClick used it for other purposes also. And according to the Enforcement Directorate, NewsClick did share some of these funds with Tisa Setalwar and also Gautam Navalka. That's the information that the Enforcement Directorate had leveled against NewsClick, and people associated with NewsClick were also questioned by the Enforcement Directorate in connection with this particular case. Subsequent to this New York Times story.
Right, yes, Arvind, that New York Times report, as we know, as you're saying, that the Enforcement Directorate is already looking at certain angles, especially related to the funding here of this portal. But for our viewers, I know you touched upon that in your answer, but if you could just explain to us a little bit more further about this China funding link, which is connected to NewsClick, and what we know in terms of what the ED has found so far and how this leads up to the raids that we're looking at today.
Taima, if you could see the Enforcement Directorate, the Enforcement Directorate during the course of investigation, they had found almost around 35 crore funds have been received by NewsClick from various people, companies linked to China. That's the basic allegation that the Enforcement Directorate leveled against NewsClick. And if you could remember, the Delhi High Court has already stayed the investigation of the Enforcement Directorate in connection with this NewsClick company. And that's where now a new case has been registered, because the Enforcement Directorate probe is not going forward, because the Delhi High Court has already stayed this particular investigation, and the Enforcement Directorate has subsequently filed an application also with new evidence that what they have found in order to vacate that stay. What we are now being told is that during the course of the investigation, the agency has also got to know that this particular funds that NewsClick received from all this alleged dubious people or firms, entities linked to China, that particular funds have also been shared with other people who are already under investigation. One such case is Gautam Navalka. So, though we are reporting that the Delhi Police Special Cell has invoked UAPA, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, what our question is that NIA has the original jurisdiction and they are under UAPA. Why is Delhi Special Police invoking this particular case, not UAPA, something that we are yet to get clarity from our sources. But again, there is a direct link that the Enforcement Directorate itself has found that NewsClick has shared some of the funds with Gautam Navalkar. Gautam Navalkar is already under investigation under UAPA. So that is the link for UAPA here also, though we are yet to confirm whether this is the link that the enforcement, that the Delhi police is currently probing. Because one thing for sure, we have confirmed from both ED and Delhi police top sources that it is based on ED's information that the Delhi police special cell has registered a fresh case. And what we are being told is that more details will be shared at appropriate time, because now only the search operation is currently underway, which is almost at around 30 places across NCR.
Right. Arvind, stay with us for the benefit of our viewers. Let's just sum up a couple of points that we've been discussing. And if they're joining us right now, what's the news break that we are bringing for our viewers? There are raids which are underway currently in the National Capital Region, being led by the Delhi Police's special cell on journalists connected to the news portal NewsClick. What we do know so far is that several gadgets, phones, laptops of these journalists have also in fact been taken by the police during these raids. And it's the larger backdrop of being funded from China, the Chinese funding controversy, which seems to be at the foundation of these raids. Several journalists have also been taken to police station, to the Delhi Police Special Cell's office for questioning. There is no arrest yet. That's what we know so far. But very importantly, as Arvind pointed out, that the very stringent anti-terror law, UAPA, the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, a case seems to have been registered under that section. Let me go back to my colleague Arvind. Arvind, the name Neville Roy Singham seems to be connected to this entire matter as well. If you could just, for the benefit of our viewers, shed some light on this very mysterious US millionaire who seems to be connected to this entire controversy.
Yeah, Tanima, in fact, that's what the Enforcement Directorate investigation revealed. According to the agencies, this particular individual, through his companies, he started giving funds to NewsClick, and NewsClick, according to them, after the funds that NewsClick got received from this particular entity, that NewsClick started doing pro-China stories. All these are allegations that are being leveled by Enforcement Directorate. And it is Enforcement Directorate, if you could remember, Enforcement Directorate started this investigation way before even the New York Times reported anything on this. Enforcement Directorate probe started almost 2 years back. They did search the premises of Bukeyasta. They did record the statement of Abhisha Sama. All those people linked to NewsClick were summoned by the Enforcement Directorate, and their statements were recorded by Enforcement Directorate, because according to Enforcement Directorate, the NewsClick received almost 35 crore from, according to them, dubious sources, and those funds were all NewsClick used. Those funds, those people connected to NewsClick who all received as salary or as whatever it is called, all those people were called by Enforcement Directorate. Their statements were recorded by the Enforcement Directorate. But subsequently, when Bukeyasta moved Delhi High Court stayed that investigation, and the Enforcement Directorate couldn't proceed ahead with that investigation. And that's why now, based on the information that what Enforcement Directorate has gathered during the course of the investigation, now the Enforcement Directorate has shared with Delhi Police, and Delhi Police has registered a fresh case. Now this will become the basis for Enforcement Directorate to initiate one more case under Prevention of Money Laundering Act, because we are not 100% sure whether UAPA has been invoked for now, because we are not getting any confirmation on that particular point alone from top sources in Delhi Police, because they are saying that the investigation is still just started, so they are asking us for some time to start. But nevertheless, even if UAPA is not there, even if other sections are there, that alone will be enough for Enforcement Directorate to initiate a fresh PMLA case. So we have to wait and watch how this case progresses during the course of the day.
Arvind reporting there. Will be tracking all the updates coming in on these raids taking place in the national capital. Arvind, thank you so much for joining us with the details. Shifting tracks now, and a major gun battle is currently underway in Jammu and Kashmir's Rajouri district. Encounters started late last night after security forces launched search operations basis information about presence of 2 to 3 terrorists operating in the forest area. Army and police have jointly launched the operation to track down these terrorists. I'm joined by my colleague Nazir Masoodi for more on this. Nazir, first of all, what's the latest on the search operations?
Well, Army is saying intense operation is underway in Kalakot forest, and they are saying after September 13 operation in the same region, in which 2 militants were killed and Army suffered 1 casualty. And intense operation have been going on. Yesterday, Army, and police launch a search operation based on information that 2 to 3 militants could be hiding in Kalakot forest. They zeroed in the cordon, and there are reports 2 army soldiers have been injured in this encounter so far. A reinforcement has been rushed to the area to track down the militants and ensure that they are not able to escape, because this is a very, very difficult area in the sense that dense forests and treacherous mountains provide perfect shelter to militants and giving them way to escape. And it has happened in the past as well. So this also shows this encounter that how security forces have been launching a relentless operation against militants, particularly after last month's 1 week-long encounter in Anantnag, in which 3 officers, including a colonel, major, and a DSP of Jammu and Kashmir police, were killed, and a soldier was also killed. And after 1 week-long encounter, 1 local militant commander was also killed, according to police. A few days back, there was an infiltration attempt in Machal sector along the line of control in North Kashmir. 2 militants were killed in that operation. So clearly, while we see the intense operation underway, it also shows that militancy incidents are going up, particularly Rajouri Poonch area, which was free from militancy for many, many years. But for last few years, we have seen number of encounters going on. So this current encounter is going on. There are reports 2 soldiers have been injured in this gun battle so far.
Naseer Masoodi there reporting from Srinagar. Thank you for joining us. Shifting tracks to Maharashtra now, and 24 patients died within a day at a government hospital in Nanded. The deceased include 12 newborn babies. Adult patients died due to various ailments, mostly snake bite. Among the children, 4 were terminally ill as per the hospital and in fact had been referred to from various other hospitals. The opposition has in fact targeted the Maharashtra government over the incident, with NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar saying this exposes government system failure.
अभी ऐसा ओवरऑल देखें तो हमारे पास 747 पेशेंट अभी हॉस्पिटलाइज है हमारे हॉस्पिटल में. उसमें से बच्चों के डिपार्टमेंट में 142 अब के घड़ी पे है समझो. अभी इसलिए वो कैसा है कि ये पेशेंट को बीमारी ही वैसी थी. यहाँ पे कोई नेग्लिजेंस या किस दवाई की कमी ये रीजन नहीं इनके डेथ में.
We'll slip into a short break now. News and updates will continue on the other side. Welcome back. Now, Rajasthan BJP has finalized the names of 39 candidates and also is, in fact, sources tell us that they're putting finishing touches on few others on the list. Sources suggest the first list of the BJP could be released after Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Jodhpur on 5th October. Sources further add that the party is not keen to give Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot a walkover in his constituency, where he's won for the last 4 elections comfortably. A big political heavyweight is likely to be pitted against the CM.
जोधपुर में केंद्रीय जल शक्ति मंत्री गजेंद्र सिंह शेखावत खुद लगातार मॉनिटरिंग कर रहे हैं. सब किस तरह से रिलीव को लेकर तैयारियां.
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के जोधपुर प्रवास जो मारवाड़ को हजारों करोड़ रुपए की सौगात देने के लिए जोधपुर शहर के लिए अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण कि जोधपुर का एयरपोर्ट का बहुत प्रतीक्षित विकास का शिलान्यास करने के लिए आ रहे, नया एयरपोर्ट टर्मिनल बिल्डिंग का शिलान्यास करने के लिए आ रहे, और इसके अतिरिक्त भी अनेक परियोजनाएं. एम्स के ट्रॉमा हॉस्पिटल का शिलान्यास हो रहा है, IIT जोधपुर का एजुकेशन हो रहा है, नई रेल की परियोजना, हाईवे की परियोजनाओं का शिलान्यास और लोकार्पण कार्यक्रम हो रहा है. माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की लोकप्रियता जो विश्व में चरम पर है, राजस्थान में भी इसको लेकर के भारी उत्साह है. पश्चिमी राजस्थान के इस पूरे क्षेत्र में जहाँ से लोग आने वाले हैं, इसको लेकर के लोग उत्साहित हैं, और मैं ये मानता हूँ कि ऐतिहासिक कार्यक्रम जो है यहाँ.
कल सुबह जोधपुर मीटिंग, शाम को दिल्ली मीटिंग, सुबह वापस जोधपुर. जिस तरह से लोगों को इंतजार है, सोचों को लेकर मंथन चल रहा है, किस तरह से मीटिंग लेगी.
अभी मंथन चल रहा है. मंथन जब पूरा हो जाएगा, कुछ विषयों पर चर्चाएं जो शेष है वो सब पूरी होगी, तो पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड के लिए चुनाव समिति जो है वो अपना तय करके निर्णय दे करके ये वो सबको संसूचित करेंगे.
क्या लगता है सर, श्राद्ध में आ जाएगी या श्राद्ध के बाद में? क्योंकि मोदी जी कहते हैं कर्म है, श्राद्ध नहीं होता है, कर्म 24 घंटे करना चाहिए.
लेकिन मुझे नहीं लगता कि श्राद्ध कहीं इसमें बाधा हो सकता है, लेकिन फिर भी ये निर्णय जैसा मैंने कहा केंद्रीय चुनाव समिति का विशेषाधिकार है। केंद्रीय चुनाव समिति जब तय करेगी तब जो है सूची प्रकाशित होगी। निश्चित रूप से मुझे लगता है कि थोड़ा ही आपको इंतजार करना।
यानी कि कह सकते हैं विधानसभा चुनाव को लेकर जिस तरह की सूची की लोग इंतजार कर रहे हैं, जल्द ही सूची आ सकती है, ऐसा बताया केंद्रीय मंत्री जल शक्ति मंत्री गजेंद्र सिंह शेखावत ने। और लोगों को भी इंतजार, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी की रैली को लेकर सभा का अवलोकन कर रहे हैं। और जिस तरह से आप देखिए डोम तैयार किया जा रहा है और डोम के साथ साथ तमाम बीजेपी कार्यकर्ता और प्रशासनिक अमला यहाँ पर लगा हुआ है, सुरक्षा को चेक कर रहा है। किस तरह से प्रधानमंत्री आएंगे, क्या क्या व्यवस्था रहेगी, उसको लेकर मंत्री जी ने अभी से जो है अधिकारियों से और कार्यकर्ताओं से और जिलाध्यक्ष से बातचीत की है। उम्मीद की जानी चाहिए प्रधानमंत्री की जो सभा होगी उसमें जोधपुर को कई सौगातें मिलने जो जा रही है, उसके अलावा भी कुछ और सौगातें मिल सकती है।
Following up on the pan-India terror crackdown, NDTV's accessed more details which reveal how Pakistani spy agency ISI was sponsoring the module disguised as an ISIS module. Delhi police's raids at multiple locations, including in the national capital, Dehradun, Aligarh, Lucknow and Prayagraj, led to the crackdown. Cops suggest that the gang was at advanced stage of planning terror strikes in Delhi. Remember, several weapons and bomb-making materials been seized from the three accused arrested.
One of NIA's most wanted, Shahnawaz, alias Shafi Uzama, arrested from a hideout by the Delhi police in the national capital. Suspected ISIS terrorist Shahnawaz is among the three arrested by the special cell of the Delhi police in its big crackdown on terror across states. Ever since he was linked to the ISIS Pune module case, it has been a cat-and-mouse game between Shahnawaz and the security agencies. An engineer by profession, Shahnawaz moved from Delhi to Pune, where two of his associates were arrested 2 years ago by the NIA, but he managed to flee.
बॉम्ब बनाने के अलग अलग लिटरेचर थे जो कि इन्हें खास तौर पे इनके जो क्रॉस द बॉर्डर पाकिस्तान के हैंडलर्स थे उन्होंने भेजे और इसके द्वारा काफ़ी लोगों से ये इंटरनेट पे अलग अलग तंजीमों से इन्होंने राफ्ता बना रखा था। अर्ली इंटरोगेशन में जो बात हम आपसे शेयर कर सकते हैं इस स्टेज पे वो ये है कि इन्होंने वेस्टर्न इंडिया, सदर्न इंडिया में अलग अलग जगह पे, जिसकी हम पूरी डिटेल आपको अलग से एक प्रेस नोट के ज़रिए दे देंगे, इन्होंने रेकी करी।
Sources say Shahnawaz, Abdullah and Rizwan, all of them techies, were radicalized into joining the ISIS mission over the Telegram app. As per the police, they were part of a larger terror conspiracy to trigger violence across the country on a scale larger than 26/11. Rizwan Ali, who has a BTech in computer science, was arrested few years ago for suspected links with the ISIS, but was released from jail after a de-radicalization program. Abdullah, meanwhile, also has a technical background and reportedly ran a diaper store in Pune which was used to assemble explosives. As per the police, the trio had done a recce of the Western Ghats along with other key places in the country. The three accused have been sent to a 7-day police custody. Well, the police have also recovered jihadi literature, material to make explosives and also pistols from the three accused. Well, this comes amid a nationwide NIA crackdown and a larger trend of techies being brainwashed towards radicalism and terrorist activity. With Mukesh Singh Sengar, Vedant Agarwal for NDTV.
Staying with news from the national capital, a shocking murder from Delhi that was kept a secret for 2 years using fake audio clips and vaccine certificates. A head constable of the Delhi police has allegedly murdered his own former colleague in 2021 after she turned down his proposal. What's all the more shocking is that the head constable managed to get the woman's family to believe she was alive for the whole of those 2 years. Mukesh Singh Sengar with this detailed report.
A Delhi police head constable has been arrested for the murder of his former colleague 2 years after he allegedly choked her to death and threw her body in a canal. Behind the arrest of Surendra Rana was a long wait and relentless pursuit of justice by the victim Mona Yadav's family.
नाटकीय अंदाज में उनके फंक्शंस अटेंड करता रहा, उनकी शादियां अटेंड करता रहा और थाने मुखर्जी नगर में जाके बोलता था कि इसको ढूंढो भाई, क्यों नहीं ढूंढ रहे इसको जल्दी से। और उनके फैमिली के साथ इस प्रकार का
उसने रेपो बना लिया कि ये तो हो ही नहीं सकता है।
The victim was a 27-year-old constable who was posted in the control room where she met the accused. Rana, a married man with a 12-year-old son, fell in love with Mona and killed her when she rejected his advances. After strangling her to death, Rana buried Mona's body at this very spot in Nalipur, covered it with stones and told her family that she has gone missing. Rana then pretended that he was looking for missing Mona, accompanied her family to the police station many times, took a woman to get vaccinated and got a certificate done in Mona's name to make it seem like she's alive, made transactions from Mona's account and used Mona's SIM card. Rana then roped in his brother-in-law Rabin, who spoke to Mona's family 5 times pretending to be Arvind, a made-up character. The two of them then made the family believe that Mona had eloped with Arvind.
हेलो नमस्कार जी भाई साहब।
नमस्कार जी।
भाई मैं अरविंद बोल रहा हूँ गुड़गांव से।
अरविंद बताइए।
भाई साहब एक बार पूरी बात सुनना मेरी। मैंने और मोना ने शादी कर लिया और मेरे घर वाले मेरे पीछे पड़े हुए हैं, ठीक है। और मैं जा रहा हूँ फिलहाल पंजाब, रोहतक के नजदीक हूँ मैं अभी। 10-15 दिन में मैं आपके पास ही आ जाऊंगा, ठीक है।
नहीं एक्चुअली मेरे को बात करनी थी अभी।
नहीं अभी वो बात करने के मूड में नहीं है, बिल्कुल डरी हुई है बहुत ज्यादा, ठीक है।
To deceive the police, Rabin would go to hotels across Haryana, in Dehradun, Rishikesh and Mussoorie allegedly with prostitutes and would give Mona's family the impression that it was Mona travelling with him. Rana had many audio clips of Mona. He would edit these clips and send doctored conversations to the victim's family to make it seem like Mona herself did not want to go back to them.
कहाँ हो तुम और ये क्या मैसेज छोड़ा है? तुम्हारा सामान तुम्हारे घर वाले ले गए, विधि और अलंकार आए थे। अपने घर बात कर लो। इतने दिनों बाद कॉल किया है। तुम्हें पता है तुम्हारी मम्मी की तबीयत खराब है। सबको इतनी टेंशन हो रही, गुस्से में सब।
अरे मम्मी गुस्सा करेगी यार, नहीं दिमाग खराब कर देगी। चिल्लाएगी मम्मी, फिर अगवाने की क्या जरूरत थी, ये थी वो थी।
When the crime branch took over the investigation 2 months ago, they traced the mobile number from which Rabin used to call, pretending to be Arvind.
उस नंबर को ट्रेस किया तो वो इशू हो रखा था एक पवन कुमार की आईडी पे। पवन कुमार कोई एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता था, वो फेक आईडी थी। लेकिन इत्तेफाक से उस पे फोटो लगा रखी थी इसने, राविन ने अपनी, राजपाल की। तो इन्होंने बैकवर्ड उसको इन्वेस्टिगेट शुरू किया और राजपाल को पहले इंट्रोगेट किया।
Once the police untangled the complex web of lies, Mona's skeletal remains were recovered from the jail. Surendra Rana, his brother-in-law Rabin and his friend Rajpal have been arrested in this murder case. In New Delhi with Mukesh Singh Sengar and Priyanshi Sharma, NDTV Bureau Report.
Now, 5 members of a family were killed and 1 other is still battling for a life after a village strongman was murdered over a land dispute in Deoria district of Uttar Pradesh. The Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister has directed officials to provide assistance to the affected families and has asked police to thoroughly investigate the incident and take action against the culprits.
6 deaths over a property dispute in UP's Deoria district. Village strongman Prem Yadav and Satyaprakash Dubey had been locked in a land dispute for a long time. On Monday morning, Prem Yadav had gone to Satyaprakash Dubey's house to discuss a settlement. Things took a drastic turn when Prem Yadav was attacked by a woman with a sharp weapon. As the news of Prem Yadav's murder spread, a mob of his supporters reached Satyaprakash's house and killed 5 members of his family, including him, his 10-year-old daughter and 15-year-old son.
एक पक्ष के एक आदमी का तुरंत डेथ हुई थी और बाकी 6 लोग पुलिस को अनकॉन्शियस स्टेज में मिले थे, तो जिनको हम लोग ने देवरिया मेडिकल कॉलेज में रेफर किया। तो वहां डॉक्टर ने जब उनका एग्जामिनेशन किया तो उसमें शायद 5 लोगों की डेथ बताई जा रही है।
18-year-old Sarvesh Dubey, son of Satyaprakash Dubey family, had gone out when the incident happened.
आज मेरे भाई का जन्मदिन था और मुझे पता नहीं था कि मतलब जैसे ये लोग ये सब अचानक कांड करेंगे। कि तुम्हारे चलते मैं कथा में जा रहा हूँ, जो भी मिलेगा तुम्हारा जो भी खुशियाँ तुम अपने लिए कर लेना। सरकार से यही मांग करते हैं कि सब पूरे उनके खानदान वालों को अपराधियों को पूरे सख्त सजा और
The tragic incident has left the villagers in shock.
रुद्रपुर में कभी इतना बड़ा जघन्य अपराध नहीं हुआ था और विवाद अब लगभग समाप्ति की ओर था। ऐसा विवाद है कि दोनों परिवार खत्म हो जाएंगे।
While there is tension in the area, more than 10 people have been taken into custody by the police for questioning.
जिन लोगों ने यहाँ किसी के घर पे चढ़ के कानून को अपने हाथ में लिया है, उसके विरुद्ध भी कठोर कार्रवाई की जाएगी। वर्तमान में गांव में 2 कंपनी पीएससी तैनात कर दी गई है और यहाँ सभी वरिष्ठ अधिकारी स्वयं मौजूद हैं।
Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has directed district officials to provide all possible assistance to the affected families and has asked police to take action against the guilty. Vinod Kumar Dwivedi and Tanish Punjabi's report for NDTV.
Time for us to take a very short break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Now, campaigning has concluded for key polls in Ladakh, the Ladakh Autonomous Hill Council polls. 85 candidates are in the fray for the 26-seat Hill Council. It's a triangular contest with a face-off likely between BJP, Congress and the National Conference. This will be the first local elections after the abrogation of Article 370 in the region.
Last-ditch efforts by parties in Kargil to woo voters as the campaigning for the Ladakh Autonomous Hill Council ends. The voting for the 26-seat Hill Council is on Wednesday, and it's a direct fight between the BJP and the Congress and the National Conference combined. The opposition is projecting the elections as a referendum, whether the people have accepted or rejected the centre's decision of splitting Ladakh as a separate union territory after the scrapping of Article 370 in 2019.
पांच अगस्त 2019 को जो हुआ करगिल के साथ गलत हुआ, लद्दाख के साथ गलत हुआ, तो मेहरबानी करके इन चीजों का जवाब आप 4 अक्टूबर को अपने वोट के जरिए इस्तेमाल करके पूरे मुल्क में यहाँ से एक पैगाम जोरों शोर से भेज दीजिए।
The BJP has fielded several central leaders for campaigning in Kargil to win the first local election after the abrogation of Article 370 and the division of the former state of Jammu and Kashmir into 2 union territories. Over the last few years, Ladakhi Buddhist and Muslim groups are demanding statehood and constitutional rights for land and job protection. During its campaign, the BJP has targeted dynastic politics in the Congress and the National Conference and accused the alliance for misleading people with lies.
इस बार इनको झूठ के सिवाय कुछ बोलने के लिए है नहीं। डेवलपमेंट तो ये लोग कर नहीं सकते, अभी तक किया भी नहीं। आज करगिल में संस्कार में जितना डेवलपमेंट बीजेपी की हुकूमत ने किया, मोदी साहब ने किया, हमने किया, ये इन लोगों को हजम नहीं हो रहा है।
85 candidates are in the fray for 26 seats. The BJP is fighting on 17 seats and also supporting some independent candidates.
We'll slip into a short break at this point, but on the other side, an exclusive Asian Games interview. Don't go anywhere. Right now, going back to one of the top stories, the breaking update that we have in fact been tracking, the raids which are currently underway on journalists connected to the online portal NewsClick. Now, we have in fact accessed a video which is showing the raids which are currently on in Delhi and in several other areas of the National Capital Region. What we do know as of now is that the Delhi police is talking to journalists who are connected to the news portal NewsClick. Some of them have been taken to the police stations. They are being questioned. What we also know that a case under the stringent UAPA, the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, has also been registered. The case though dates back to August, but the raids are in fact being conducted since early this morning. And several gadgets connected to these journalists have also been seized. Let me go across to my colleague Arvind, who is joining us for the latest. Arvind, what more information have you gathered so far?
Tanmay, we have got a few more details, information regarding the searches that are currently being carried carried out by the Delhi police. So this particular case, according to our sources, was registered on August 17th by the Delhi police special cell. This particular case was registered based on the information that was shared by the Enforcement Directorate, and the agency has invoked the stringent anti-terror law, which is Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, along with two sections of IPC. One, 153A, which pertains to promoting enmity between two groups, and also another section, section 120B of IPC, which is criminal conspiracy. So all the three are predicate offense under the Enforcement Directorate. Now the Enforcement Directorate can register a fresh money laundering case, and then the agency can proceed with this investigation. So this particular case, what we have gathered information is that this particular case pertains to alleged violation in receiving foreign funding, and also its in use is something that the agency, both the Delhi police and also the Enforcement Directorate, will be probing. So what we are being told is that in a short span of almost 3 years, NewsClick received almost 38 crore from entities linked to China. Of this 38 crore, what we are being told is that 9 crore came through foreign direct investment, and remaining 29 crore came as export services, etc. So that's where this 38 crore that NewsClick allegedly received from entities allegedly linked to China under the investigation of the both Delhi police and also the Enforcement Directorate. So this is one part of the investigation. The second part of the investigation is how does NewsClick use these 38 crore? That's something that the current raids by the Delhi police is throwing some light on. One, all those people associated with NewsClick, whether they have received salaries from these 38 crore or any kind of fund transfers or transactions with NewsClick in the period of 3 years, that's under the radar of Delhi police also, and that's where almost over 10 journalists who were associated with NewsClick at that particular relevant time, a period of time, currently under the scanner of Delhi police. Their premises are currently being searched by the Delhi police. Their gazettes are being currently seized and their statements are being recorded, but for now, no arrests have been made.
Right. Arvind, stay with us. Let me also read out a statement which has been issued by the Press Club of India, though they have said that they are going to come out with a detailed statement in a short while once they come to know of more details. But if I can just read out for our viewers, the Press Club of India is deeply concerned about the multiple raids conducted on the houses of journalists and writers associated with NewsClick. We are monitoring the developments and will be releasing a detailed statement. The Press Club of India also adds that they stand in solidarity with the journalists and demand that the government should come out with more details. Arvind, as you said, that these are, of course, information that is trickling in at this point in time. The raids are still being conducted. We've accessed video of one such raid taking place in South Delhi. But if you could just piece together for our viewers the trail that has been conducted by several investigative agencies into this entire NewsClick China fund connection, and also this name that we were talking about a short while earlier, Neville Singham Roy, who is supposed to be this mysterious millionaire who is behind this funding trail that both the ED earlier and now the Delhi police is also looking into.
Yeah, Tanima, the case starts with, this particular case started with this alleged foreign funding that was found by a central agency that NewsClick has been receiving funds from entities linked to China, and that's where the EOW wing of the Economic Offence Wing of Delhi Police registered an FIR, and based on that, the Enforcement Directorate conducted searches at the premises of NewsClick, and they also questioned the promoters, founders, and also people linked to NewsClick, and that's where the agency got to know that in a short span of 3 years, they had received almost 38 crore from entities linked to China, and the main person or the person behind this, according to them, the web of companies that allegedly funded NewsClick is this Roy Singham guy, and that's where the agency zeroed in on him, and that's where the agency got more information that in almost 3 years, this is according to the Enforcement Directorate, that NewsClick received almost 38 crore, 9 crore as foreign direct investments, and also this 29 crore as services, part of exports and other services that NewsClick did. So that's where this 38 crore have been calculated by the Enforcement Directorate. Now the Enforcement Directorate has given this information to Delhi Police, and now Delhi Police is trying to connect all the people who are part of this 38 crore transaction. Though NewsClick received it from entities from outside the country, how did they use it? Because one such information that has been shared by Enforcement Directorate to Delhi Police is that the NewsClick also gave some funds to Gautam Navalka. Gautam Navalka is already currently already being probed under the UAPA in connection with Bhima Kurigan cases, and that's why there is a direct link to UAPA. That's why the Delhi Police is also exploring that particular link. Whether those people who are currently under the investigation under UAPA have been funded by NewsClick is something that the agency is currently probing.
Arvind, I have a question. You have gathered from your sources that around 38 crores, roughly around 40 crores is being connected to a funding trail that the investigators of ED are tracing to China. Is there any correlation to any dubious content which seems to be in the radar? Because can we say that this entire money is through illegal routes? Or, has the ED found any such thing yet? Or is there any connection being established yet between this China link and the content which was being hosted on the website?
Yeah, Tanima, that's a very important question. If you could see the sections that have been invoked in this particular FAR, there is one section that is kind of intriguing, which is section 153A of IPC, which is promoting enmity between two groups or two communities. Right? That's a very wider section ambit that the Delhi Police has invoked in this particular case, because that shows that the agencies are allegedly linking the funds with the kind of content that NewsClick has been airing on their platform. Because promoting enmity between two groups is not just between two religious groups, it's not just between two cultural group or just between any two caste group or communal group. This is a wider section. So that's why the agency is saying that in its FIR that the funds that were allegedly received by NewsClick, which per se via illegal route, that was used to promote propagate ideology or propagate the views of some other people, thereby creating enmity between two groups inside the country, is something that the agency is trying to link this case to, and that's where section 153A of IPC has been invoked in this particular case.
Arvind, very important details which you have managed to gather for our viewers. Thank you so much for joining us with that. We'll of course be tracking all the updates on this big developing story on the channel with you. But as Arvind there was saying, that at this point in time, it's investigation which has been done by the Enforcement Directorate, and now the Delhi Police is picking up the thread from their raids being conducted across the National Capital Region today since this morning on journalists connected to NewsClick, the news portal, which and what the investigators are looking at is this alleged funding row linked to China, and of course looking at the funding source as well as whether or not there was any sort of influence on the content being hosted by the website. Right, we'll slip into a short break at this point in time. News and updates continue on the other side.